Where did you guys meet?
So we met in when we met at Warren Wilson College. We were both getting our MFAs in 1999. It was July of 1999.
July of 99. And separately, we had both walked outside of the barn to get a little breather from the dance party that was going on inside. We were standing out in front of the barn. We were both pretty drunk. We had both also recently shaved our heads, which was exciting. I had super long hair and had shaved my head.
And I had hair like this and I had shaved my head, yeah.
But we're standing outside and we both sort of had that moment where we're like, hey, you're Matt Hart. Like, I've read your poems in Conduit. I remember this really clearly, that fire hydrant poem that was in Conduit. And then sort of wrap up that moment. I think at one point we decided, I don't remember who said this first, but one of us was like, you're my dog.
That was you.
I was like, you're my dog. And we got our arms around each other and we started howling. We're on the steps, howling at the moon.
Yes.
It was great.
I don't think we've howled like that since.
Tell us where we are. We're in the Dumbo section of Brooklyn right now. Dumbo, which I just learned a couple weeks ago, stands for Down Under Manhattan Bridge Overpass, which is exactly where we are right now.
It's a beautiful day. There's a hurricane blowing through as we speak. I'm from southern Indiana originally, and I live in Cincinnati, Ohio, which is where I've lived for nearly 20 years at this point. And you know, I love living there. Kind of my relationship to New York, I think, is like I always love it here. I mean, I'm one of those kids from the Midwest who just thinks this is really exciting. I mean, to me, it's all speed. Although staying in Ditmas Park the way we are now, Ditmas Park looks like a small town in Indiana. I always love coming to the city and like filling up on the energy and the rush of everything and the speed of everything. I mean, in many ways, I find the city totally terrifying because it's so fast. And I think in some ways it reminds me of my own mind, just in the sort of uncontrollable chaos of the whole thing. So, you know, it's nice to be in that and to be a part of it, and to, you know, like Nate said too, be a part of the tradition of poetry that's here too. But it's nice to be a part of that for a while and then go back home where I can sit under my trees on my back porch and think about this,
right?
You know, away from it.
Lessons to sort of learn being here is that the community is so vibrant and so packed together here because there's so many people. And you can take that energy with you and remind yourself that that community is important. I mean, for me, the biggest connection, which, you know, I'll just talk about, is that my journal Hangman was started because of my love of Ted Berrigan's journal C, I had the opportunity to look at some of the issues, you know, the actual issues themselves, and realize I could start my own journal because it was easy to do. It was important to do it. And so I feel like in a lot of ways my writing and my journal, which are really connected, come out of the tradition that this city has fostered for years. So it feels great to be able to be here, be a part of that tradition as it continues in whatever minor way I can be.
No, people keep talking about this hurricane, and I'm waiting for it. I mean, so far it's hotter than hell. There's no rain, and
it's really messed up the part in your hair.
And it's messed up my hair. It's too humid. And its name is Earl. So the BQE is right out here. Right. We are about to head in to this crazy bar that has a truck in the back, where they have the most freaking delicious tacos and roasted corn.
I mean, let's rewind a little bit. We read in New York City back in March.
Right.
We came here afterward, thanks to our friends Evan, Jane, and Brett, who brought us here, and
because we were hungry,
because we were starving, because it was late at night.
They didn't bring us here because they thought it was cool. They brought us here because we were starving. You walk through this bar, and like you go down the bar, and you go out onto this back patio, and there's a truck with demons painted on the side.
I think what's amazing about this, though, I think one of the great things about New York City, about any place at all, is that the experience you have of the place that you're in instantly infects the way that you're thinking about everything else, and it comes out immediately in the conversation, in the poem if you're writing a poem, in the art if you're painting a picture. I mean, immediately the place becomes a part of you, and then becomes part of the art that you're making.
Yeah, and I feel you come to New York and we have all these friends here. Right? And you can't see any of them except in like snippets, right? You see everybody for 20 seconds.
Exactly.
And but you put all that together in this sort of patchwork kind of thing, and you have all this crazy energy going on, and I'll go back to Cincinnati, you know, on Sunday, and I'll go back to my life where I get up at like, you know, 5 o'clock in the morning and write poems. But I'll be thinking about this and the noise and all the noise out there, and you know. I'm getting 2 shrimp tacos and a veggie taco and some corn.
I'm just getting a veggie taco. Just one veggie. I know, I'm sorry, I apologize, but my stomach is full of water and beer.
Mine's not. This is called Her Name Was Name. I had a girl, I named her Soap. I had a soap, I named her Cat. One day I played the accordion on paper and it sounded like a birth certificate drifting into the sun, a disintegration station in a vast bewildered wilderness. It sounds like a slide whistle at first, but later, like the back porch flytrap, I named Jungle. I've never before mentioned these names in the airway, and neither has the girl I named Name ever faltered, though the question of remains in the hallway remains. Does one's imagination also disintegrate, or does it flutter forever like a boa constrictor circling the world, or a warthog? The warthog I named Babe. The boa constrictor I called Pasture. The last time I found myself ensnared in the pastoral, I imagined a rope and escaped by climbing up it. Then I named it Laminate, but I called it overwhelming.
Me and overwhelming covered in skulls. One superhero to another, to another. I boiled a lobster, I named it Travel. I had an agent and I named her Mob. Then I took out the garbage and went running with my dog, ostensibly to prove my existence, if not also my purchase. I made a purchase, I named it Purpose. There is nothing so bright as a toddler on fire. We don't need no water. I named the water Death Star.
That's great. This is called American Water. There were lessons to learn about context and perspective, temporary city, happily together, though 100 miles from the town she lived in, and we both knew we wouldn't stay. 3 years from that date, we are disappeared from each other, and now it is 10 years past, and there's no point in the old urgency of that moment when it was a brand new century. October, it rained every day for only hours, heavy leaves staying green in the south. She was used to the Louisiana heat, me, recently from New York, and spiraling so far from friends, family, and local hangouts that turned into ghosts, all of them, and she's just air now. She told me nothing really mattered except the moment she was living in, which was a lie, I hoped. If not for her, then at least for me, since I have always been a person deeply and essentially saddened by chronology. She slept next to me wearing my orange sweater, and I wish I still had when she walked from the bed to the shower, and there was sun on her legs, not the same orange, and the record playing that I gave to her because it would be her birthday soon, or so she said. I was believing everything anyway. We were smiling when we left for coffee, eggs, and a biscuit on Johnston, or that cafe on St. Mary's Boulevard. I can't remember. We didn't get to keep any of it. October in the morning, it was still America and raining.